paid my dues. Time after time. Gotta raise the octave. I done my sentence, but committed no crimes and bad mistakes. I'm singing. I've made a few. I have to look at the words though, because I know. I've made my share of sad kicked in my face, but I've come through. And we gonna go order. We ain't those champions, my friends. We keep on fighting till the end. We ain't them champions. We ain't them champions. 'Cause we so stupid. We don't know how to fight the power or rage against the machine of the world, the entire whole big world. We failing everybody, especially the next generation. Good morning, everybody. Anybody dog barking? I make up as I go. I'm indoctrinated. And the system tells me who I'm supposed to fight and why. It confirms my bias. And I get out there and fight them people. I have no idea what I am. I used to think I was spiritual, but now I think I'm just a monkey. We ain't them champions, my friends. We gonna keep fighting till the end. Wasting everybody's time. Good morning, everybody. We ain't them champions. We ain't them champions. No time for losers. 'Cause we ain't them champions. 'Cause Bill Biden is still alive. And in Iran hanging out. But George, the heroes and villains been lying to the end. All right, let me stop. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh my goodness, do we got stuff to talk about today? Oh my goodness. It's been an interesting, last 24 hours been interesting. Let me bring the comments in. Good morning, everybody. Two things on my mind, like on the Sphinx mind. Y'all know that's a hole in the Sphinx, right? Y'all know we did that video 2 years ago. And I didn't dug up some more evidence and proof that the Sphinx is hollow. It's like Swiss cheese. There's a temple in there, baby. All right. And I want to talk about that. And then we got to talk about Bill Biden. He's still alive. Bill Biden still alive. He down there and hanging out with Boo Boo and Tink Tink down in Iran. Well, I tell you what, we're going to fight the power eventually. One day we're going to learn to fight the power. Fight the power. I had to tell my brothers that this morning. I have no idea why I got two older brothers that I have to explain how the world works. They supposed to explain it to me. Okay? It's like, you are a little brother. We're going to explain how the world works to you. I love them to death. But boy, I tell you what, I would not trust my brothers with a bag of rocks wet and a sock. They hit me in the back of the head, turned me into contact tracers. Oh, do we got to talk about yesterday's interview? Boy, I tell you, fight the power. Fight the power, ignore the powerful people. We got played again. And by we, I mean a whole bunch of y'all, because I did not get played. No, I did not believe the speech. We killed him and threw his body in the ocean. I was like, that's some bullshit so I have ever heard it. You didn't kill nobody, throw nobody's body in the ocean. What's wrong with y'all? Stop lying. Cut it out. People knew that a long time ago. Good morning. Who's that? Joseph, good morning, brother. Hey, we need to do an interview. We need to talk. We probably need to talk about this right here. Hey, let me bring my comments in. Yeah, Joe and I, we're gonna try to do a show. If I ain't already bothering enough people's ears and getting people's dogs barking in the morning singing. Good morning, people. Woo! Yes, the Sphinx is hollow. Got temples on the inside, and Akashic records and histories and all that stuff, and nobody telling you nothing. what's his name? Zahi Hawass, keeping the secrets of humanity from everybody. Hang on, let me share this. This. Let me talk less, type more. Gerard, talk less, type more. Yes, I talk to myself all the time. I literally do it in public, and people can see me do it every morning. I'm here talking to myself. That's why I found it funny when Ron Paul quoted Trump yesterday, because Trump Trump said Trump was right. I thought that was hilarious. I posted it, and then I didn't look at the comments because I figured people yelling at me, but that's our hero. He's the villain. Like, listen, fight the power. Ignore everything people within the system, within the power, tells you is a hero or a villain. Fight on principles, ignore the people. Fight the power, ignore the powerful, right? Rage against the machine, ignore the bolts, ignore the seat, the saddle, the steering wheel, ignore all of that. The machine should not exist. Fight the system, fight the power, ignore the people. Boy, he said, did he do the Trump hand? I didn't even see it. Trump was right. Trump was right. That's like me saying Gerard was right. Gerard was right. If I started saying that, people lose their mind. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Those are things I find interesting. I'd love to. We could talk about what's inside the Sphinx and why they're hiding it from everybody. Why they would use concrete and iron to keep everybody out of it, but they had not done that to the other holes. I was thinking about all the other holes around Egypt, because the city under there that they won't let nobody see. Probably because they came from Atlantia, or if you're in the Egypt area, if you're in the zip code of Latin America, the Central America, they call it Atlan, where the Aztecs came from. Atlan, Atlantis, and Edgar Casey told you that the Atlanteans built the Sphinx. We know that, and wasn't no Egypt nothing involved in building the Sphinx. Okay, they named it Egypt after the Sphinx was there. The Sphinx was there for a very long time. The watering on the basin around it tells us that the Sphinx is a bare minimum 10,000 years old. Some suspect 80,000 years old. It is a human history record. It is a world treasure site that not any of the monkeys watching me allowed to know what's in it. You're not allowed to know what's in it. I found it interesting that they sealed it with concrete. I also found it interesting that people over age of 10 thought they threw his body in the ocean. Gotta keep up. I'm talking about a lot of stuff this morning. It's all merging together. Fight the power. All right, champion more. Champion. Let me find my man. What's his name? Takashi? Did y'all see Revenge of the Nerds? I've been listening to Queen's song, We're the Champions, right? I've been listening to Queen. Ooh, here's a picture inside. Here we go. Ooh, the Hall of Records inside the Sphinx. It's probably a record in there. Probably tell people, just don't be stupid. That's probably all it is. There probably is not like an interface or nothing. Stargate, you put your head in, it gives you the history of your human race. It's probably not books and tablets and scrolls. It's probably just one line on the wall. Just stop being stupid. You are a spirit. Stop acting like a monkey. You are a vibration. Please stop acting like races, religions, and nations. You are a god and goddess. That's probably all it says, and they just don't want people to say it. They probably wrote it in ink, irremovable ink, and they couldn't scratch it off the wall, so they put the concrete top on the Sphinx so people couldn't get into the Hall of Records and read the sentence. That would fix everything. All right, there we go. Are we ready to go? We ready to go. Let me go over here. Ooh, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? I gotta come up with another name, because I know if I use a name, they're gonna flag the video. Sintaden. There you go, Sintaden. Sintaden is alive, everybody. Sintaden did not die. Your president lied to you. Sintaden did not die. That's the problem with having heroes and villains that are given to you by a system that oppresses everybody around you that you fighting with. Okay? Sintaden is still alive. He's in Iran, hanging out, chilling, drinking Mai Tai. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. But what we do know from that interview is that he was not killed and thrown in no damn ocean. Sintaden was not. No, Sintaden, no. Sintaden was chilling, hanging out. And because parts of the United States Incorporated were working with Iran government, colluding against you at election time for October surprise, which I find it kind of interesting that they use this as an October surprise against his October surprise. You sit back and you watch it, it's hilarious. right? Because that's how he got reelected. He said, "You reelect me? We killed Sin Tadin," and it wasn't Sin Tadin; it was his body double. But we got him, you know. And every October surprise, everybody, yeah, he's strong, because they used to say he was weak. No, he's weak. He's weak. I love that man to death. I don't have anything against Obama. I ain't got nothing against him. All right, if I were him, I'd be him. If I were him, I would do what he's doing. If I were him, I probably had him reptilian eyes. Oh, Lord have mercy. But to me, it was fitting. Did anybody get the irony of that? That was his October surprise and this is Trump's October surprise? It's entertaining. I just watch it, people. I'm not interested in how this affects the election, this, that, or the other, whatever. And commodity she could be president. It doesn't matter. United States Incorporated, you don't know who the president is. They got a board, okay? And the president is way down in the janitorial departments. Good morning, everybody. Whew. Yes, early. I got to go early. I have to go early. I got to go earlier. I'm going to try to go a little bit earlier. It's too hard to do this and get interrupted. All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. How y'all been? Speak. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Or just sound like gobbledygook? Nah, those older siblings are too indoctrinated. Yeah, Kentucky Fried Mama. I love them to death, but I'm trying to get better with my words. I don't know how to talk to them. It's hard to talk through indoctrination. Right? Because when you are indoctrinated to be black, or you're indoctrinated to be white, or you're indoctrinated to be any of the things they indoctrinate you to, it's real hard because the system will it'll confirm that bias throughout your life, right? Like, my thought was, when you want to fight the power, ignore what the system tells you is the perceived power, right? Because it's the system. The system is going to invent any villain, any demon, any hero, whatever it has to just get you to go along with it. And they go along with it, and this is why indoctrination is so dangerous. Is they give you that identity gets attached to your intellect, and you will use everything you know to defend yourself. Right? It's psychological, and I ain't no psychologist, Kentucky Fried Mama. I don't know what to tell them. So I ended up the discussion this morning. I said, just fight the power. Just think about that. Fight the power. Fight the actual system. Ignore everybody within it. Fight the actual system. Because everything you see in it is like a fog of war. Right? The fog of war. The system will protect itself by any means necessary. It will create whatever you need to see to keep you consenting to. All right? Good morning, Jasmine. Melissa's in the house. Jennifer Bodana. Good greetings. Good morning. Arian. Melissa, what is Arian? Arians. Those are our brothers from another mother. I'm on everybody's side. That's what I told someone the other day. Said, yeah, Donald Trump's gonna win. I'm sure. I hope he does, and I hope Jive and Bowden win too. Kamala, hope she wins some. And it does not matter. Not to me. It doesn't matter. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Donald Trump is the hero that some of y'all say he is. It doesn't jive with my. I haven't been here too long. Maybe that's it. I haven't been here too long, and it's hard for me to process this idea of Donald Trump from the Bobby Brown videos. It's saving the world. It's hard. It's hard for me to swallow the whole SEAL Team 6 and Centadin. It's hard for me to swallow that. Right. Like, I think it's something, but I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic on every damn thing. I'm a skeptic because I've been here too long. It's like, this is gonna turn into something. They're gonna arrest because there's a couple of them who's involved in Sillery, Jive and Bowden, and Sobama. They're all involved. But Sobama, he was blackmailed, if I understand the interview right. So I don't know. Remember, didn't I not say 2 minutes ago, the system will create whatever you need to see to get you to continue to consent to it. So it might all just be bullshit, but I like it because it's weird. It's got some weird aspects to it. One, if you are a CIA whistleblower, the last thing you want to do, there's some people that you offend, there's some people that you mess with, and there's some people that you don't. If this is a lie, first of all, so if he's telling the truth, Obama, Sillery, and Jive and Bowden, you need to get on a boat and you need to get the hell out of Dodge. Don't stop, go. Don't ask for 200. Don't collect nothing. Don't say hi. Don't say bye. Don't pack nothing. You need to go now. I know people who used to serve in the special forces. These are not people you want to mess with. These people, brothers and sisters and mothers, and they are allegiant to the patriot flag, this, that, and the other, but they got a deeper allegiance. And that deeper allegiance is to the people that they fight with. You don't want to be around if you actually were a part and you served up to Team 6 for this nonsense. But if he's lying, if the whistleblower's lying, because I don't know. What do I know? I'm with y'all. We don't even know what's in the Sphinx people. We don't even. They bar the doors. They put concrete locks. They got all kind of laws and legislation. We don't know a damn thing. Everything is a fog of war. We don't know anything. If that's CIA, if he's not CIA and he's not a whistleblower, he's just a liar. Woo! You wouldn't want to be him either. Don't pack go. Don't. You're not gonna get away. Actually, don't even worry about it. What is his name? He doesn't need to run. No, because if you got significant resources, kings and lords might be able to get away. But this dude, he ain't going. He's not gonna get away. These people will find you. What is his name?
Please introduce yourself to everybody. Your full name.
I don't want to play it. I just want to see his name. I don't think I can play it. I don't know. I think they're gonna flag this video everywhere. I think they're not gonna let it stay. I was trying to get his name.
My name's Alan Perot. I was a falconer for Arab political leaders for 20 years.
Alan Perot, I think that's his name. Alan Perot. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But so he was the one who's whistleblowing. And this is the problem: is that Babylon is made up of non-Babylonians. It's the problem with Rome. Why did Rome fall? Rome was made up of non-Romans, right? They colonized everybody. You had just enough barbarians that collapsed the system. That's the problem. The problem is the people. You got some champions in these systems, but if this dude is lying, they're gonna take you out. You're not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Hi, have to leave too large, ready to harvest cannabis plants. What? Stolen last night. Gonna play detective and use my smell to find it. What, Jennifer? Ooh, I want to grow some of that. I can't. I live on the colonizers and the oppressors. They oppressing and colonizing. If I grow that stuff, they're gonna put me under the prison. I talk about cannabis way too much to grow it. Some of y'all can get away with growing it, not me. The police come up to my back window because I got a big sun porch and I grow a whole bunch of other stuff. They out there with lights and we get him yet? So we like him, but we gonna get him. I know everybody in my police department. Well, I know most of them. I know all of them. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Joe Workers. I've been approving the studio. Hopefully everything worked good. Okay, Joe, let's do an interview. Anytime, let me know. Let me know. Howdy, good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Christine. Hard to ignore the people for many. Yes. Sphinx. Oh, Sphinx. Please would love it. Wow. Okay, Christine, I have no idea. Are you talking Belgium, darling? Is that? I'm having trouble reading it. Hard to ignore the people for many. If that was back when I was talking about fighting the power and rage against the machine, it is hard to ignore the people, but we have to. We have to ignore the identities, the Trumps, the Obamas, the Ivan Bodens and Hillearys. We got to avoid all that. Avoid the whole white people, black people, immigrant people. Avoid all of that. We got to fight on the principles. The system indoctrinates you to give you a foe, to fight that foe so it can keep oppressing you. That's how that works. Good morning, Katie Macau. Good morning. Christ in the house. Christ. Anytime Christ come in the house, I mean, we need a hollow beat Christ Henderson name. People don't get it now. They never will. Don't get it, Christine. Don't give up on. Never give up. I never give up on people. I have not given up on my brothers. They gonna figure it out eventually. I might be dead by the time they figure it out, but they're gonna figure it out eventually. We have to keep fighting. Let me see. You want to do a show with me tonight? Sure, Joe. Send me a time. Absolutely. This is Joe Workers, y'all. Y'all should follow Joe Workers. He's another finding the truther. I hate the name truther. Can we have a new name, family? Can we not be called the truthers? One, it sounds kind of corny. And I am corny because I'm a father. I literally started off singing, "We aren't the champions." But we don't know the truth. Why are we called the truthers? We shouldn't be called the truthers. We are like the seeking truthers. We trying to find some truth, and everything is a damn lie. You know what? Let me hide this picture because they'll use image. If they decide to wipe this video from the internet, that interview, the same way they wipe the doctor's videos trying to tell y'all how to prevent yourself from dying from the cuckoo virus, they've proven they can wipe everything. All right, so what do you want to talk about today? Those are my options. Your options is Sphinx and SEAL Team 6 and and where's Sintaden at right now? Or we might be able to do both of them. I don't know how much time we have. I want to drive the discussion. I want y'all to interact more and tell me. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Christine. We are learners, study students. Absolutely. And Joe Workers, I listen to anybody who thinks they're a student. People who think they're teachers, I'm kind of like, yeah. Okay, what do you know? Where were you educated? Oh, in the systems education system. Oh, okay. I like people who could be wrong. That's the only place you're going to find anything being truthful. People who are willing to say what they think and be wrong about it. Speak the truth regardless of who listens or not. Absolutely. Lori Jenkins Riley. I don't know what Jenkins means. I just like to put that between people's names. Truth seekers, I call it. Yeah, there you go. Truth seekers. I like that. Do we get patches and badges and stuff? We get a uniform. Just stop speaking to mine. They're always sabotaging me. Send them love. Oh, Kentucky Fried Mama, don't stop speaking to your family. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I do? I don't engage with them until they say something stupid. I usually leave them alone. They can text back and forth, talk about tiddlywinks, bobbly boops, spacely sprockets, and cogswell cogs. But when they start talking about they get out there and fighting that white supremacy stuff, that's when I have to speak up. Because I'm required to. I don't have an option. Like, no, I'm sorry. I've been 1,000 feet from a brother who hung himself and he had white skin. He ain't have a damn thing. And I know you got a lot. You got a car, house, wife, kid, college. You got a whole bunch of money. So I'm not going to let you fight white supremacy because he ain't had none of that stuff. So I only speak up Kentucky Fried Mama when I have to. This is something that I know my friends of the lighter persuasion speak up when members of their family say things that are racist too. And that's what we have to start calling. Just call it racist. So I don't really engage with them, Kentucky Fried Mama, until they say something stupid and I check them on it. That's the only thing. Check them. Check them, love them, check them. Love them, check them, love them, check them. That's all we can do. And they'll wake up in the time they need to. They'll wake up in the time that they need to. It's like your kids. It's how you're raising kids. You understand? It's like how you're raising kids. Like, look, listen, the oven is hot. Don't touch the oven. And then you stop them. And I said, the oven is hot. Now I want to make some pancakes, Daddy. No, you're not going to make no pancakes. The oven is hot. You're too young. You can't even reach the thing. Stop it. I just want to make some pancakes, Daddy. You're not listening to me. I'm trying to tell you to stop. Like you can't force people to do anything. And finally, okay, you want to make some pancakes? All right, I'm going to the other room. I'm going to go get the bandages ready. I'm going to go add, it's burn cream. I got to be careful what I say. Actually, my kids are too old. Can't nobody take them. They grown men. They got beards and deep voices, and they stank. So I just went in the bathroom, started getting the burn cream ready. Like, here we go. I didn't know about aloe back then. And you go ahead and let people fall and trip on themselves. Sometimes don't let them fall and die. Yeah, they hurt people too. I know my Kentucky Fried Mama, they say stuff to hurt my feelings all the time. It's a good thing I don't have no feelings. They try to make it personal. I've been trained Kentucky Fried Mama. I'm on this place called Facebook. And when people get upset and they don't have no facts and they don't have links and they don't know how the world works, they make it personal and make personal attacks. And I'm buffered. I've been called every name in the book. You gotta have to come up with a new you gotta start making new names to hurt my feelings. Because I actually don't care. In a time where nobody knows what's going on, nobody knows truth, and barely anybody knows you. Don't take things personal. It's not personal. It's just indoctrination, Kentucky Fried. Anybody. It's just indoctrination. When your family's fighting with you, you're not fighting with your family. You're fighting with their indoctrination. You're fighting with emotions, lies, false history, all rolled up in a bag of news, some politics, and false experiences in a false society. You're not actually fighting with your family. You're fighting with an ignorant entity that looks like your family. Labeling is the beginning of violence. It is, Christ, and if somebody can actually label you, they'll put you in conflict with somebody else, and there's nothing people can do about that. That's how the oppression system works. The oppression system gives people labels and then gives them a reason to fight. And that way people will never fight the power because they're so busy fighting each other. Like I hadn't said anything about Black Lives Matter a bit, so I had to post it a minute ago. I said, all lives matter. And until you say all lives matter, no lives will matter. Because when you can say all lives should matter, it indicates what the problem is. It indicates what the solution is. When you say just white lives matter, just black lives matter, just blue lives matter, it completely is agnostic to the solution, right? It is what keeps oppression going, which is why the Democratic Party says Black Lives Matter. They want to keep oppression going. They get paid big money for private prisons. They get paid money. They wrote all them crime bills and all them laws. They get paid. They got paid lots of money to do that, and they want to retire well. So they tell you who to fight so that they can stay in power. Absolutely. We need to seek instruction from each other. Absolutely. Everybody, Lori, everybody. As foolish as my brothers are, I was asking my brother, because one of my brothers is a chemist. You know, so I said, when it comes to how the world works, you ignorant as a bag of wet hammers. When it comes to distilling, you know, I'm not going to just go out and buy a distiller, Lori. I say, hey, bro, you need to help me. I'm trying to make essential oils. I'm not trying to make moonshine jungle juice, not just yet. I don't want to make something that I think is basil oil. It ends up getting me high because it fermented. No, I don't want that kind of problem. I have enough problems. I don't need to get high on basil and run into the police. That's a bad idea. Hey, Lynn Mary, good morning. Oh my goodness, heard Jive and Bowden say the poor kids are just as smart as the white kids. What the fudge? I had to change out the words. No, Joe segregating. No, now Joe's segregating smarts and money with class and color. Well, Lynn, he always has been. That's the problem. He always has been. I have a theory, though. I have a theory. I think that the DNC ran him just to see how foolish their voters are. Like, I think they were just running a litmus test. I know they know that he ain't gonna win. I know that they know that. I know that they know that. These people can read, write, chew bubble gum, rub their tummy, and walk at the same time. There's no question. These people drive cars. There's no question they think he's gonna win. I think they just wanted to see how far that they can push. Like the wealthy people I know, they're very methodical. The powerful people I know, they'll do things just to see how you react. They'll say things just to see what you say. And they study you. I think they ran him. I think they went through the DNC. Damn, we got to find the most racist person. We got to find the most worst person. The person put more brown people in prison than anybody you ever know on the planet. Find the worst person and let's see if our hate Trump message works. Find the worst person we can find. And let's see if they're willing to go for anything that the corporations want to purchase through lobbying. And they found a man who wrote the crime bill and the Patriot Act. A man who literally put more minorities in prison than anybody alive on this planet right now. Probably more than anybody put together with that crime bill. And he loved it. He loved it. So it's not new. And I love Joe. I love Jim Crow Joe. Lynn, I do. He's a brother. He's a brother, you know. But if I were him, I'd be him. And this is kind of how I get down. Like I'm not better than nobody. I don't know nothing more than nobody. Nothing like that. Not judging anyone. If I were him, I'd be him. And if I him, I'd been racist my whole life. My whole life. I said, you know what, you little brown people, y'all need to get some albums and play the, what'd he say? He said, play records at nighttime to your babies or something. I was like, dude, you know, it's 2020. I don't think I even have a record player. My kid's in big trouble. And albums, no, I'm lying, Lynn, I'm lying. I do. I got that little one. I went through a nostalgic age when my kids was young. You know the toy record. Anyone got that toy record with the plastic records and it's got like the big dots in it, and when you put the thing down, ding dong, ding 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 ding. That one. I got that one. But Jim Crow Joe. We might need to change your name now because yesterday's interview. Jim Crow Joe. I don't think the albums that you have gonna play for my little black kids. On that toy record player. He needs a new name because of this interview. Did everybody watch the interview? Did everybody do their homework? If everybody did their homework, I don't think his name is Jim Crow Joe no more. His name might be Let Lyden Go Joe. Lying about Lyden Joe. I don't know. We'll have to figure out a new name for him. We'll see. We'll do a poll. Soul intelligence has nothing to do with age in this school. Ooh, soul intelligence has nothing to do with age in this school. It doesn't, Melissa. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. Don't ever look at anybody's age and say, oh, well, I'm older than you. You can't teach me, or you're younger than me. You don't know anything. Well, listen, my kids have taught me more than anybody on this planet. I'm going to be honest with you. My 3 boys have taught me more than any professor, teacher, anybody on this planet. They've taught me about me. They've taught me about the world. They've taught me about what's most important. Damn it. I want to say something. I like to say truthful things, Melissa. I get a little misty-eyed. I get a little misty-eyed. Like I was telling somebody yesterday, I had to leave corporate America. Yeah, it was mostly a choice, but I was not myself in corporate America. I wasn't myself. I wasn't the father I should be. I wasn't the person I should be. I wasn't the brother I should be. I wasn't anything. In stressful conditions, everything is getting me. But I used to go to work and I'd bring that stress and TPS reports and PowerPoints and sitting in boardrooms with vice presidents from all over this world doing crazy stuff and this international business criminal stuff I was doing with Wall Street as a consultant. And I was not the nicest father I should have been back then. I've said a lot of things I regret. I don't think I've ever cussed my kids out. I've never liked that. I've never abused them or beaten, nothing like that. But I just wasn't the person I should have been. So my greatest regret, Melissa, and I'll stop right there. They get all misty-eyed. My greatest regret is that I think I missed a lot of their childhood. Not that I wasn't there, I was there, but I wasn't me. I was a slave. I was a forced labor slave in corporate America, stressed out, working long hours, working the weekends, doing what I had to thrive in this criminal world. I wasn't me. And so I don't think that they completely know their father. I think they know father-ish. They knew about 70% of me, but at least 30, I was at least 30% criminal. Stressed out, you know. And so I was talking to a lady about that yesterday, Melissa. Which that's one good thing from the lockdown. It's not 2, not yet. Only one good thing from the lockdown. And it got nothing to do with the cuckoo virus. It's got to do with the fact that husband and wives are spending time together, mothers and fathers spending time together. And I think a lot of people are starting to see what I saw when I started working from home. When I started working from home, Melissa, it was like Harriet Tubman had a discussion with me. Right? Because it means that I could work from home. I could put my kids on the bus. I see them get off the bus. Something happens at school, I could be there in 5 minutes. That ruined me. It ruined me for slavery. It ruined me for corporate America because, and this is what I'm saying, Melissa, and I'm answering the question, that those 3 boys being a parent taught me more than anything else in this life, is that all that matters is the next generation. That's all that matters. My kids, your kids, their kids, everybody's kids. That's all that matters, the next generation. We don't matter at all. Not me, not my life. No, I'll sit here and I'll talk about Jive and Bode and Trump and interview with the CIA guy, and, you know. But they mean more than anything. Stuff like that, like watching my son get off the bus and run home. Run up to the house, because that's home and daddy's home, and I'm running home to tell daddy about under the bed. No, when they're little, they all little, got this big old bag. The bag big as they are, they can barely run. The bag swings this way, they swing this way, almost run into a tree. This way, you know. And they just can't wait to get home. Feet barely work. Can't wait to get home, to see home and dad and get out of school, get out of slavery. Melissa, those images told me about myself. My oldest told me about myself. You know, he was the one who kind of started waking me up that corporate America made me foul. You know, he started having issues. He started becoming a man. We started bumping heads, and I had to check myself. He had to check me, and I had to check myself and realize that, damn, corporate America is making me a monster. I have to quit. I have to get out of here. I have no idea what to do, but I can't do this anymore. And so I went to go do something else. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. But that's all we're here for, is the next generation. I'll do anything. And actually, and this fits in with today's topic, this is what I told my brothers. Hey, man, I'd give anything for the next generation. They're gonna take my life, take it. You want to take it twice? You can take it twice. But I'm gonna sit here and say the things that we need. Why are we gonna just save black kids if we can save all kids? That's criminal. That's that's racist and foul. Why would you save just black kids? You can save Native American kids and Hispanic kids. And I'm not saying my brother said that. It's the narrative of, what the system gives people to fight for. This racist narrative. We have the automation to help everybody. My other brother chimed in, but I can read the text to you. But histories of oppression and this, that, and the other, and they got one leg up in reparations and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't deny it. I'm not denying racism don't exist. I'm not denying depression and slavery and all that stuff. I don't deny none of it. I know a whole lot. Bro, I went to, I'm the only one in my family went to a historical black college. You think I already got it. They think I don't even know history. It's funny. I literally got there my first day of college. Everybody had a dashiki. You go to a professional, you go to a historical black college. Oh my goodness, I got there. It was afros and dashikis and afro picks. Everybody had one. You was like a uniform. You had to wear it. You had to have kente cloths. Oh, I know a whole lot about black history. It's just right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's academic. I said it doesn't matter. It's a little too strong. It's academic, right? Yeah, it's academic. I did that, and I studied white slavery, or be specific, because white and black don't exist. British and Irish slavery, right? The Corsair pirates and what they did back then. They pulled a million people down to white folk down to Africa, right? And then you start to realize, like, damn, everybody been through something. Everybody screwed up. Everybody needs some reparations from the 0.01% that owns the planet. So no, it's not that history doesn't matter. It's just all them people's dead. They're dead, all of them, every last one of them. Right now, I can say anything I want. They can't do nothing because you dead. You dead. Yeah, you've been through some rough stuff, but I ain't been through it. I got oppressors and Jim Crow I'm dealing with right now. I need to deal with. For these kids, for the next generation. We got kids dealing with Jim Crow right now, and y'all running Jim Crow Joe, and the other guy's trying to put more police on the street. All right, we need to deal with that. And the whole what happened in the past, we'll figure out later. Half the stuff is hidden from us anyway, because they got a damn concrete thing on the Sphinx. We don't even know what's in the Sphinx. We don't know the real history of anybody's slavery. So, where am I going with that? Where am I going with that? Right. Automation. That's what I know. I know automation. I know robotics. We can feed everybody. We can take care of everybody. We can take away human oppression. So take it away from everybody. To help out black people, you would literally say, we are not going to help white kids. You literally have to hold back resources from them. And how could anybody do that without having a big dose of evil? You can help everybody. So help everybody. There shouldn't be no poor people on this planet. Oh, did y'all see Ron Paul's quote yesterday? He said, somebody said that the lockdowns doubled world poverty. Don't know where it came from. Don't check me on the facts. I really don't care if you check or not, because to me, it actually makes sense. It doubled poverty in my community. And the worst form of violence is poverty. So the lockdown was the worst form of violence the earth has even seen in our generation. They can't do this again. We have to shut it down. Skepticism is healthy. Yes, it is, Tim. Everywhere, brother. Everywhere. On everything, Tim. Everything, even on me. Be skeptic of me. Don't trust me. Y'all saw my eyes the other day. Look like a damn reptilian. As far as you know, you need Buckaroo Banzai to see who I am. Does anybody remember Buckaroo Banzai? Oh my goodness, I hadn't seen some good shows. Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah, he saw the aliens. Because they zapped them from the alien ship, which I think prepared us for 2020 or 2021 was coming. Hang on, them aliens is coming. But you can't see the aliens unless they zap you. So they zap Buckaroo Banzai so you could actually see them. Be a skeptic of everything, Tim. Absolutely. I know nothing. Melissa, neither do I. I don't know anything. I come on here and I say the things that I think. I say the things that my friends send me that I found out. But I'm with everybody else in the fog of war. We don't even know what's in the Sphinx. It's a whole damn city under Egypt. It's an entire city. The kids used to play down there. The historians, they wrote books about all the cities and temples and Akashic records and all the stuff they hadn't found. And then they sealed it up. We don't even know what's in there. Why would they seal it up? I have to go see the post and see what people think. But to me, it's probably something that they can't carry out. There's not gold and treasures, no, it's not caskets and bones and mummies, because you carry those out. They carry those suckers out. They take them to museums. They sealed that up for a reason. You know, that's either an interest to a massive city that they don't want people going through, Dolph's UFO, or, you know, Jesus, maybe he left a UFO down there too. Maybe Muhammad, he left some notes down there. But it's something big that they can't carry out. Because on that, there was the lid from the big box in the Great Pyramid. Right. See, the reason that there was an extra tunnel, and I'm gonna mess up the facts because I haven't looked at it in a long time, because there was something large in the Great Pyramid that one of the kings wanted out. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And so they went in and they saw it, but they couldn't get it out. And so that king made a tunnel, or pharaoh. He tunneled his way out and created a shaft to bring this big thing out. And I think it was either the lid to the box, maybe it was the Ark of the Covenant. I have no idea. So theories of what the pyramid is and why would you make a concrete lid and an iron, you know, maybe because there's something in there that's too big for them to drag out. I mean, me personally, if I was from Atlan, isn't the lion's name Atlan? Isn't that the lion's name from that kid story? If I was from Atlan and we started the Aztec civilization, which told you they came from Atlan, the abundant place, and the Egyptians who said that, or the theories that came out that said that the Atlanteans built the Sphinx, and I needed to hide something for the future of the human race, for all the children, how like what we're talking about here, like everything we do has to be for the next generation. You would have to there's no way on earth that you could hide it where everybody's gonna find it and everybody have access to it in a time where they could utilize it, unless you put it under something massive like a pyramid or Sphinx. It would have to be in a place that everybody sees, and it would have to be so heavy, so big, so blocky and defying of you getting this UFO, this Ark of the Covenant, whatever it might be, out, unless everybody knew that you were doing. I mean, that's how you would hide. That's where you would put an Akashic record. You would put it in a place where the 0.01%, the criminals, right? Because that's what you're always going to have. Anytime that you are on a planet with limited resources, tribal conflict, group conflict, political parties, tribes, nations, whatever you want to call it, all the ignorant people, and they all fighting each other. The ones who will have first access to whatever the treasures are always going to be kings and lords. They're always going to be the powerful, that 0.01% to 1%, 2%, whatever. So you would have to hide something for the remit of all people in a place where that 1% can't get to it. And so everybody can kind of see what's going on. So that's what I kind of think about Egypt. Anyway, good morning, Angela. That's a Patreon, y'all. Yes, if you want to throw him throw me some pennies. Absolutely. Thank you, Lori. Pennies shouldn't exist. But throw me some pennies. Buy me a cup of coffee. You know, I do this. And you don't have to. Like, it's tough times, hard times. I appreciate people like Lori, a few others here, Kristen, these regulars. But it makes it a little easier. I'm going to do this no matter what. You know, I do this because the next generation needs more voices to say things that are truthful and not things that are tribal. So I'm gonna do it no matter what, but it makes it a little easier. It means that I can upgrade laptops and get faster service, and there's less people talking about the microphone. I need to get another microphone, stuff like that. So that's nice. I gotta live too, but it's tough times. But I'm not gonna stop. I don't do this for money. Money shouldn't exist. But in the meantime, I think we gotta sometimes use resources to fight to give everybody equal resources. All right. Seekers. Oh, I like that, Susan. We can be the seekers. I just don't like the truthers. I don't like that. That to me, whoever came up with that name, same person probably named Black Lives Matter. They did it on purpose. Like, we don't know the truth. We want to know the truth. Meaning, open source society, we're not going to have it until we start agreeing that we just don't really know. We all got competing theories. We're trying to figure it out. Speak the truth regardless of who's listening or not. Absolutely, Lori. It's like, pray when nobody's around. You don't have to pray when people see you. You do things that are right because they're right. You don't do the things that are right because people are watching and you don't think better of you because you did it. No, you help. Labels are stupid. They're more than stupid, Christ. Labels are powerful. They are ways that these colonizers and killers attach to you and shackle to you to doing stupid things. Good morning, Anthony Tony. Good morning, Kentucky Fried Mama. What you got? Did your brother try to give you away? Oh yeah, your 4 and 7-year-old children to a rich family in another state. I'm not talking about politics. No, Kentucky Fried Mama, and I have not walked a foot in your shoes. You know? So I'm just sharing with you my thoughts and how I deal with my family. I have never been through what anybody else has been through. That's why I say only people matter. No. Only the person matters. People don't matter. There's no people. There's no group of people who's been through what Kentucky Fried Mama's been through. There's no group of people who's been through what you've been through. Who's this? Lynn, there's no, if I'm looking at the picture right, you look like in what in this country they call white peasant. The white peasants, they don't have no idea what Lynn been through. Only Lynn knows what Lynn's been through. Lynn's experience matters. White people's experience does not matter. Only Lynn's experience matters. No one's been through what she's been through. Deanna is Asian, I believe. She's gonna check me on that. I believe. There's no Asian people. The Asian people don't know what Deanna's been through. Only Deanna knows what she's been through, right? So people don't matter. The person matters, and everybody's person experience is different. I'll say this real quick, Kentucky Fried Mama, because your story sounded familiar to a friend of mine who is now dead because he hung himself on a tree about 1,000 feet from where I am right now. So he was a poor white kid, and I believe he had a little sister, and his parents gave him, they didn't give him away. Giving something away is something you do when you just don't give a damn about something. They dropped him off on the street in Philly and just said, we don't give a damn about you. And he struggled the rest of his life. Thank God he didn't end up in prison, but he ended up being a very angry man. And I got to know him. And I made as much room for him as I could. Kentucky Fried Mama. I think I told this story before. When I was here one morning, I was doing this, and I saw the ambulance and all that stuff. I was like, what the hell's going on? I think I had mentioned in the video. I come to find out that he hung himself. If you live in a time where poor white children hate this world so much that they would hang themselves, we got to fix things. You know, you live in a time where poor black children hang themselves. You got to fix things. He was angry too. I'm sure he called me all kind of ends and this, that, and the other, and whatever. And I don't really care. He done been through hell, and I haven't. It's my job to use my privilege to help out anybody that I can. That's what I always do. So I'm sorry that you went through that. In time, I think things heal. You know, all I can do, never having lived through that experience, is I just try to help who I can. I love everybody I can. That's all I can do. Okay, I'm here now. You can relax. Oh, Paul's here. People, all right, let me stop. I'm not gonna make jokes. Oh, Paul. Oh, goodness gracious. Love you to death, brother. Let me see. Johnson & Johnson. Ooh, testing of warp speed vac has already damaged human life. Why does Trump push warp speed? Death rates almost nothing. Joseph, where I go with that, once again, is I don't look at identities, I just look at a system. And the system is going to have certain requirements. The pharmaceutical industry is the biggest lobbyist in Washington, so it doesn't really matter who's president. They're absolutely going to push mandatory vaccines. And we have limited time to even talk about that, Joseph, because I believe, was it yesterday? There's a news release that said Facebook is going to stop allowing advertisements that are considered anti-vax. Right? So whoever is in that spot is going to do it. We can't have champions. We can't have villains. The system gives us champions and villains, and they all end up lying. They all end up doing what the system requires. If we're going to fight the power, we have to ignore the labels given to people and parties or people in those places. We have to fight it on a principle level. Those things are abuse. I'm not against those things, but they are abuse when you try to force them. Rushing something that they haven't figured out how to do right in 20 years and rushing to do it in 20 months is a really bad idea. And it wasn't even 20 months, it was like 8 months. Gerard is strong enough not to get triggered. Yeah, I don't get triggered much. I would say I'm not. I think I have been, just not much. Learn your triggers and work through them so nothing triggers you. Absolutely, Christ. And the other little life hack for that is when things trigger you, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? You get triggered, you think about Kentucky Fried Mom and what she's been through. You think about what other people have been through, and then you stop and you think, man, how silly is it that I'm upset with somebody on the internet because they posted something, called me a name. The person doesn't even know me. They could just be software. And I haven't even been through half of what people with no privilege have been through. Recognize your feelings, respect them, and then use your head to guide your life. All is temporary, love is permanent. Oh, that's beautiful, Lord. That's quotable. That's beautiful. Good morning, Gina. Good morning, Tammy. Divisions are the game of the dark side. Yes, Lori, and they thrive at it. They're so good at it. They are so good at indoctrinating people and getting them to fight the future freedom of their own children. They are so good at getting people so angry and emotional that they will fight against their own interests. And they can't even see it. And they'll put it right in front of them. And they refuse to see that they're fighting against their own self. These people are masterminds of division. Half of my life in books, half my life's in books written pages, lived and learned from fools and from sages. Ooh, Christ getting all deepified early in the morning. King of empathy, Gerard Jenkins Hay. No, I'm not the king of empathy, Lord. I just, I thank God, Spaghetti Monster, Buddha, Shiva, and all the rest of them. And I have not gone through some of the things that people have gone through. I don't honestly think I have a right to complain, Lord, about anything. Thinking about what women have been through. My God, exactly what am I supposed to be complaining about? Think about them little girl. Think about a little girl on a ship from Ireland or Britain coming to America for indentured servitude / slavery. You're 10 years old on a ship with grown men who were, in their 20s at the time, no other women on the ship for 3 months. Think about if you were a little girl from Africa coming in. Same scenario. I would suspect most of the kids never even made it. So I don't really have anything to complain about. Life is good, Lori, and as long as life is good, we need to take that good and do anything we can for other people, but be honest with ourselves too. And that is American privilege places us on top of everything else. Which is what I told my brother this morning as well. It's just like, you just don't get too far with that fighting slavery stuff. Every single dollar you make here is based in slavery somewhere else. Every single dollar you got here is dripping with blood from somewhere else. The system is the problem. Nobody in America is truly fighting slavery because everybody in America and all the NATO allies are propped up on slavery, as they always have been. Right? That's not nothing new. It's just now we know. And that might be the difference today in history is now we have the internet and people who actually want to know and people who actually want to solve problems. My only interest is in solving problems. I have no interest in how they got there. I have no interest in what happened last generation. When the problem is fixed and all kids have food, everybody's got houses and automation's doing that, and robotics is taking care of that, and everybody has everything that they need, then we can look back at history. We might know something that was true from history. But until then, we're just lied to about everything, and it's pointless. We have people who need help right now. We had people who needed help 50 years ago. So talking about the academics of how things got here is useless. Dream on, Aerosmith. History repeats women. Yeah, it does, Melissa, which is why at the principal level, we have to break apart the patriarchal system. We have to break apart power altogether. Power should not exist. In fact, they sell lies as truth, and truth is lies. They do, Joanna, and people are buying. They're hungry to buy because they're indoctrinated to buy into it. Here you go. What is that? Sandy Group Tribune Communities, South County, National City Story, 20 used to launch cuckoo virus 19 vaccine trial. It's coming, Patricia, which is why I'm gonna get out of Dodge. I looked mine up. Did y'all look y'all stuff up last night? I looked mine up. I already realized my state is not gonna be the place to be. It's not gonna be the place to be when they come out here to shoot everybody. Not shoot, but shoot. Not shoot with shot, not with lead. With animal tissue, and infant tissue, and mercury, and thimerosal, and all that. I looked mine up last night. I don't know, out the blue, a family member, I'm stopped telling on people. A family member sent me a message. They said, yeah, but I live in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania ain't got mandatory shot-nations. Make sure that the closed caption isn't working, making sure that this learning software is not picking up on what I'm saying. So I went out and looked up the different states to see who has the ability to do forced shot-nations. And Pennsylvania was on the list, but let me tell you what I looked for. Let me show you what I looked for. This was late last night before I went to sleep. Nope, that's not it. What's my out here? That's not it. Yeah, the Bofan was busy yesterday. Bonsai, this, now here. There's a whole lot of stuff on my page. That's not it. That's it right there. Here we go. Quarantine. State quarantine. This is what you want to look for. You live in another country. You want to know if they can do the forced shot-nations. First of all, they can because they're government. They have the right and the ability to do anything they want to anybody they want, and they will get away with it. The system will get away with it. Not necessarily politicians or the police. They like to put them in prison every now and then, and because it doesn't do anything, it keeps the system. You're out there fighting police and you live in a police state, please focus on words. Words matter. Fighting police, but living in a police state. You're fighting the wrong thing. It's the state that actually gave the police the power, told them to go out there and to abuse you and take your rights. It's the authority that you need to fight, not the fight the power, not the powerful. Here it goes right here. I posted the link. So this is what you do. You go on down there, Alabama, Arkansas, Hawaii, Iowa, Maryland, all of them. We'll stop in Maryland. Let's do Maryland. Does Maryland have the right to force shot-nations? The answer is yes, because you look right here. So what this is Maryland and 5 Code 18906. Authority, when the security of health determines that it is medically necessary and reasonable to prevent or reduce the spread of disease or outbreak believed to have been caused by the exposure to a deadly agent, may order an individual or a group of individuals to go and remain in places of isolation and quarantine until the secretary determines that the individual no longer poses a substantial risk transmitting the disease. In short, it didn't say anything about forced shot-nations. I know, but you have to learn how to read the law. So it means that they can take you and put you somewhere, and you can't go out that somewhere until they say you can leave it somewhere. That's called many things. But you're not going to leave if they want to. They don't have to use this, but they can. And you can't leave until you are injected with what they need to inject you with. So of course they do. And this, I'm not sure if this was the law that we were talking about that they sent around to have passed by all the states. That 10 of them didn't pass it, but I went down the list. Maryland was right there. Went down the list. Pennsylvania was right there. So I know I can't stay here. Me sitting around waiting for a law to get passed is stupid. That's dumb. I need to wait and watch for a forced vaccination law. No, they already got the law. They can do it anytime they want to. All right. Army in the UK, door-to-door knocking for testing. Joanna, and reports are starting to come in. The only reason I'm hesitant, Joanna, is only because I think a lot of people are starting to defy. A lot of people are starting to seem to figure the things out. I'm seeing more and more people who aren't going along to get along. Less and less people are believing in the nonsense, and so there could be an act of mass standing down. And we might get it with this. This might be the end of it right here. This might, well, Chris Christie beating it. That might be it. That might be the end of that. This might be the end of it too right here. I mean, what will people do when they find out that they've been completely lied to about everything?
And then I spent another 10 years in former Soviet territories doing conservation work and catching falcon smugglers.
Excellent. So we crossed paths about a year ago, or no, about 8 months ago, and I have always been searching for the reasons as to why they wanted everyone to die in Benghazi. And boy, do you have some really good information that explains everything.
And a lot of evidence. He says he has almost a terabyte. Documents, phone calls, emails, notes. He got all of it. And I believe they turned it into one congressman and someone else. So this is going to be interesting. A couple things. So, the whole Benghazi thing, well, dead man tell no tales. It's a cleanup. It's a cleanup. Same thing with SEAL Team 6. They cleaned them up. And most people knew that back then. No, you just didn't know who did it. You don't know who ordered it, who forced it to happen. And now we're getting an indicator, right? Doesn't mean that these people are right. But what it means is that you were lied to. That's what matters. Right, because people say, oh, they're going to do this. It's just election time, conspiracy theory, blah, 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 blah. You say, no, what you need to understand is that, well, first of all, everything this man said is provable or deniable. Easily. Right? Why is that not being investigated? Well, because you're listening to your leaders talking about jizzle boo 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 and blah, 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 instead of forcing them to answer those questions, right? We know that his evidence can be looked into. When you force that to be, when your lying leaders decide they want to talk to you about anything other than that, some walls, healthcare, Medicare, and all the things you'll get on, the wars and the blood that's been let all over this planet and paid for by the lying criminals that you want to elect and use as your heroes in office. When people's lives, when every person's life matters more than what you can get out of their death, every person's life matters more than how it can elevate you in reparations and whatever it is that you feel that you can get from colonization, murder, kill, Babylon. When people's lives matter, then you act like it. And you got families of SEAL Team 6. You got families of all the people around the world who have been victims of modern colonization that just happening right now. Like Melissa just posted a minute ago. Somebody right now is being raped somewhere right now because of the wars that we start, the invasions that we participate in. When those lives matter than what you can get at election season, and bragging rights at the Vindicaria because your king won, when that matters more, that's when this all comes to an end, but not a moment before. Not a moment before.
We appreciate that you're taking the time to share it with us, everyone. So,
thank you.
Oh, hang on. Oh, Paul said something. So they released it online. Watch the chaos ensues. So it's only chaos to a fool. Only chaos to a fool. To enlighten people who are fighting the power, not fighting for their select powerful, the people would be demanding to know the truth. They'd be demanding real, open source, in public investigations. Right? It's only chaos in a nation of fools. If you're in a nation of enlightened people would have common sense, there wouldn't be any chaos. People would realize, okay, yeah, it did make sense that we were lied to the first time, that we need to force reality into the public domain, because it doesn't make any damn sense consenting and voting for people who were caught lying to you. Because if they're lying about that, what else aren't they? What else are they lying about?
Well, I have to say that our military are so well trained, their work is compartmentalized, and the only people that understand the full story are the people at the top. And they have made some very bad decisions for this country and for the former Navy SEAL Ty Woods and his brethren who perished unnecessarily at the hands of Hillary Clinton. And in the large picture, this involves Joe Biden and John Brennan.
So could you explain the context of how did this all start?
Well, the gestation, the beginning was in the 70s during the Church Commission, when an alternate CIA was created called the Safari Club. And the Safari Club was financed by overseas allies. It was outsourced to foreign banks. I have 2 banks and bank accounts that were used by the Safari Club, and the individuals with checks paid out by them. Osama bin Laden was one of the recipients of funding from this alternate CIA that was subverting the oversight control of the successor to the Church Commission, and that is the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Which makes perfectly good sense, right? What is better for global banks of having one CIA than 2? If you have one CIA and your citizens haven't realized that having a civilian, for-profit, working with corporations, militarized arm, and people consent to it, and they can kill people, they can start the war on drugs, they can start the drug trade, they can traffic weapons, they can blow up cities, they can topple governments, they can do anything they want to bloodlet all over this world for industries and corporations and bankers. Even arm the people shooting at your own troops. And people go along with it, and people are happy with it, and people are they're happy citizens to just join up in groups and fight each other. Then why would you create one CIA? Why would you just keep one CIA? Then it's a good idea to have 2. The people consent. As long as people consent, it's justified in the system doing it. You know? And that's really my position on most things nowadays. If we consent to it, then it's justified. And we're still consenting to it, so it's still justified. You know? Profit and power decide. We have a system problem. We don't have a person problem. We don't have a Jive and Bowden problem. We don't have a Trump problem. We don't have an Obama problem. We have a system problem. If we were them, we would be them. We would do what they did. And if we get rid of them, we blame them, we throw them in prisons, somebody else will take that spot. It's a system that we need to fix.
1 week before bin Laden was killed, I was called down to the Senate Intelligence Committee to give statements and evidence. And I have quite a few tape recordings and of senior members who were aware of bin Laden's house arrest in Iran for 10 years following Tora Bora. This was arranged by John Brennan. This is why Gary Bernson was not allowed to kill Osama bin Laden in Tora Bora when he was only a few hundred yards away.
You see how this is lining up now and how it's making sense? That they were actually protecting him, while in the news they thought that they were going after him. Why? Because he scared you, and so they would show you his videos. Now you probably know who was filming the videos. And it was scary. He attacked us. Back to my original point. Fight the power, not the powerful. And ignore any villains and heroes the system or people within the system hand you. Because it's all a scam. It's a scam to play on your hope or your fears. They put him on house arrest in Iran, and they worked with him, and they kept him there to scare everybody else and to start wars on this planet that ended up in the death of 5 million people. Now tell me something about the election that's important. Ended in the death of 5 million people since 9/11. Tell me something that's important that's coming out of Jive and Bowden or Trump's mouth right now. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing, not if you have a heart. Nothing if you know that those are all God's children. Nothing if you know that they were all sentient creatures that were all killed for nothing other than power, control, another president who wanted to be reelected. We are played all the time.
Because the plans had been made and set in stone by John Brennan to extradite bin Laden from Tora Bora to Iran, where he remained under house arrest for 10 years with more than 100 Al-Qaeda leaders and their families.
All protected by the
So
government.
what you're saying is that there was no need for us.
All protected by the corporations that made them. There were probably some governments that helped in the creation of these terrorist groups. But see, the corporations made them. The governing corporations. Governing corporations don't see to people. They see to corporations. They see to profit. They see to power, right? The governing corporation, United States Incorporated, made them and protected them. What we need back is a republic. The Iranians, as far as I know, they have a government. I don't know anything about Iran. So they colluded and worked together. Why? Because it was profitable. Why did Jive and Bowden write the crime bill that put more brown people in prison than anybody on this planet ever? Because it was profitable. He doesn't hate those. He didn't hate the kids. You know, I grew up in the Washington D.C. area, so I saw the effects of what he did. He didn't hate any of those kids. It was profitable. And he worked for the United States Incorporated, which meant he had to do what was profitable. That's the problem when you're voting for a corporation. It doesn't count your votes. It doesn't care about your votes. It doesn't care about what you want. As long as what you're voting for is profitable, it'll do it. If it's not profitable, it won't do it. Because the basis of every corporation is to make profit, and the United States Incorporated is bankrupt. They did that intentionally with the Federal Reserve Act, right? Fractional reserve banking. That's how you own a corporation. You force it into bankruptcy, then you can make it start any wars you want. You can make its children do anything you want. You can use its commodities for yourself. And that's how global bankers turned the United States Republic in the Washington, D.C. Act of 1871 into a corporation and then bankrupted, and now bankrolls it into doing anything that it wants it to do.
To invade Afghanistan under the pretext of getting Al-Qaeda if the U.S. government knew and was actually protecting his life in Iran. Is that correct?
Well, I have to say it was rogue elements of the U.S. government.
Good delineation, but it doesn't necessarily matter. It's still a corporation. And why did we want to go to Afghanistan? Why did they protect him and hide him? Why? We gotta get him. He's in Tora Bora. He's hiding out. Blah, 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 blah. Why? Well, Afghanistan got that opium. The Taliban stopped the opium traffic. Right? And so as soon as we invaded, or after we invaded, they said the opium production came back to full strength, 300% more than what it was. Or no, they recovered 90% of what it was prior to us invading. I had a friend who said he was over there guarding opium fields. And now you got an opium crisis right now. How many people in America died of the opium crisis? Last time I checked, it was something like 300,000, 500,000. How many people in your country and abroad have died for this? And the other reasons why we're in Afghanistan, why? The lithium. The lithium, the oil, the metal, the golds, all those other things. Once again, if you don't have a government, you have a corporation, and all it operates is on is profit, it's going to do anything that's profitable.
Controlled by...
And there are a lot of people who need you to grow the F up. That's the other piece of it. A lot of people died in this. A lot of poor white people, poor black people, poor Afghanistan people, poor Iranian people, poor Iraqi people. There's a whole lot of cousins you got around this world that need you to grow the F up and wake up and start acting like you're an adult, and you can critically think your way through creating a system that no longer is based in the oppression, murder, slavery, and rape of other nations and people.
John Brennan, Richard Clark, Vice President Biden, quite a few people. There's a long list of people. They started with good intentions. The Safari Club was begun to fight the expansion of the USSR, but it turned into a very distorted operation over the years. And Osama bin Laden was the figurehead manifestation of this alternate CIA. And so they had to protect him in their bad judgment. And you see, one lie leads to another. Our parents always taught us this. And so when my team, we planned a program to go in and get bin Laden in Iran. We were going to catch him when he was falconry hunting, because I spent 20 years living with Arab political leaders, training their falcons and going out in these camps, hunting with them. And then I noticed there were terrorists coming into these camps, and the Royal Falconry camps are Al-Qaeda's boardroom. This is where these bad guys come. There are no passport or border controls. And so we were going to go in and get bin Laden, but unfortunately, within minutes of ascending to the office of the CIA director, Leon Panetta's first act in office was to cancel the Rigor program, RIGOR, a covert CIA program to catch and kill Osama bin Laden in Iran. This was 6 months after Barack Obama was sworn in as president, and Leon Panetta threw a tantrum and canceled Rigor.
So you get that, right? So you can't go catch him, and he is the reason why the trillions of dollars are being made. Right? He is the reason why you're sending more troops. He's the reason why mamas are letting their babies grow up to be cowboys and send them off to go fight. Jay and the rest of these people to go off and fight something that's a fraud. Right? The fact that this isn't on every single news station in the world should tell you that this world is dirty from the very beginning. Paul Brady said a minute ago, it's war games, and that's what it is. It's all a game. It's all a game for trillionaire families and billionaires playing and murdering millions of lives because we mean nothing to these people. We're commodities. Wars become an economic policy, right? War's a racket. Who wrote the book? War's a racket. General Smedley Butler. War's a racket. So it's not like we don't know. We know. People don't act on it. We know. People just got to grow up. We got to act on it. I don't want to play the whole thing. We get most of the important parts. Hold on.
This was reported by Goldman and Apuzzo, and slightly mischaracterized in the press as targeting al-Qaeda leaders all over the world, but it was focused only on Iran and bin Laden. And so when we were first ignored and then obstructed and then threatened by 8 CIA officials and warned off going into Iran to get bin Laden, we had passports, visas, everything was ready. The Revolutionary Guards were going to be our bodyguards while we were out doing bona fide scientific research as a cover for catching bin Laden alive for delivery to a tri-state area. When we were shut down by Leon Panetta and others, I began negotiating directly with Iran 6 scenario analyses for the transfer of bin Laden alive and well to coalition forces, and to have him put in a neutral zone. And Iran is on tape agreeing to this. It was all done. It took 3 years to develop this. I had meetings in the Iranian mission at the United Nations. Ambassador Mohammed Kazai organized everything. Bakhsarai was the handler. There were several handlers. Everything was ready. And then I went to Governor Bill Richardson, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, on December 2nd and 3rd of 2010. He agreed to be the U.S. envoy to receive bin Laden for a transfer to coalition custody. And it turned out that bin Laden had already been moved to Abbottabad, Pakistan in August of 2010. And so...
Why was he transferred there?
He was transferred there because in the 6 scenario analyses that I discussed with Iran, by harboring Osama bin Laden and 100 al-Qaeda leaders, this represents an act of war against the United States. Their nuclear facilities could be bombed and their economy obliterated. So the time moves backwards instead of forwards. And the Iranians didn't want to risk exposing their complicity with John Brennan and others to harbor. You see, John Brennan and Clinton and Biden outsourced the imprisonment of al-Qaeda leaders to Iran. We think of outsourcing as being a commercial activity. They outsourced our military responsibilities to an untrustworthy adversary, Iran. And they did that to save Iran from retaliation for harboring terrorists. And so Iran had no choice in their estimation but to accept the offer of Clinton in lieu of my offer, which was transferred to a neutral zone. Because that would have endangered their economy and their nuclear program. So they
Clinton, forgive me, I want to ask you about this. So Clinton actually knew about this, right? She knew that they were willing to just hand him over to us.
tapes, registered letters, everything to Clinton.
So she knew that they were ready, Iran was ready to give us bin Laden with no real struggle. And
absolutely.
So she decided to have him move to Pakistan for a trophy kill.
They moved him to Abbottabad in August of 2010. And that's our first overhead viewings of bin Laden walking in the garden. Everybody said he was crippled, but he walked down 3 flights of stairs to walk in a garden to advertise his presence, okay? It was an advertisement. Then the gas line was put on the 3rd floor of the Abbottabad complex in August because his wives had to stay sequestered away from the other men. They had to cook in private without the purdah veil. And other things. One of bin Laden's sons said his father was strangely resigned to dying in Abbottabad. So he was held there in a gilded cage, awaiting his trophy kill. He was moved from Mashhad, Iran, into Abbottabad airport, and then moved to this prison complex, the Abbottabad compound. It was not there to protect him. It was there to keep him there, awaiting his appointment with destiny. But the Iranians turned it into a fateful result because they pulled bin Laden out at the last minute, at the 11th hour, after an Iranian agent, a double agent, a Pakistan ISI officer who worked for Iran covertly, provided the DNA evidence to the CIA station chief. Finally, they were convinced it was bin Laden in Abbottabad, and they sent in SEAL Team 6. And Musharraf said he didn't know about the SEAL Team 6 coming in, but they had to let down the radar long enough for the helicopters to come in. And they only told Obama about the SEAL Team 6 kill mission after the radar was put back up and SEAL Team 6 could not go back into Afghanistan. It was then a one-way trip that could not be canceled. You see, we have a witness who witnessed Hillary and Panetta threatening Obama that if he didn't greenlight the bin Laden kill mission, they would expose him in the press and he would never survive politically. And he actually was reluctant to authorize the kill mission. That's why they pulled him off the golf course only after the mission could not be canceled. And so the agent provocateurs, the engineers of all of this were John Brennan, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden. And when they went in there, trusting the Iranians had bin Laden there waiting for them, SEAL Team 6, your son.
He was retired at that time. Actually.
Yes, but the SEAL Team 6, they killed Osama bin Laden's double.
How do we know that?
One of the wives went running towards them before he shot him and said, "Don't shoot, he's a double." I don't know the language she used. And then if you read Cy Hirsch's book, he explains that they threw the body parts over the Hindu Kush mountains. They didn't even save them like they saved the sons of Saddam Hussein in a refrigerated tent, well preserved and with makeup, just to prove that the wicked witch was dead. They saved the sons of Saddam Hussein, but they did not save the corpse of Osama bin Laden because it was his double. And it could not handle the scrutiny of DNA testing off the strip.
Okay, so the SEAL team, they knew that it was thrown out of the helicopter?
They learned that it was not bin Laden. And so they threw the body parts over the Hindu Kush mountains. And John Brennan said that the people on the ship were told to keep quiet about the peril at sea, but they all say that they never were told to keep quiet because there was no peril at sea. John Brennan took the lead and made the fake media announcements. He lied to the press when he explained this this Muslim burial at sea. It's actually haram. It's forbidden to bury a Muslim at sea unless the body's going to endanger the lives of the crew with disease risk. You can't, because you see in the ocean, the feet, it'll rotate around and the feet will face Mecca. It's haram. You must bury on land with the face facing Mecca. So Brennan, who's a Muslim, you'd think he'd know not to lie about something so obvious. He said it was a Muslim burial at sea. Nonsense. And so this big lie that you see, Biden, Hillary, and Clinton worked this agreement with Iran. They trusted Iran to move bin Laden to Pakistan. He did. He was there. But then they trusted Iran to keep him there. They moved him out back to Iran. And then the communication from Iran to Obama was, hey, we got your neck in a noose. Give us all this money. $152 billion, $2 billion on an airplane pallet was paid out for the secrets I wish to reveal now and to the president under the terms of misprision and treason. That is to say, this is a secret. These are secrets worth $152 billion paid by President Obama. And Vice President Biden paid with the blood of SEAL Team 6 when he had them killed.
So it's blackmail and extortion then.
Blackmail and extortion.
Now,
Iran commandeered.
Do you have the documents to
Yes.
prove this?
Yes.
Now,
Iran. Yes, sir.
I was going to ask you, if you have those documents, are you willing to personally deliver those to President Trump if he were to provide the transportation and the guarantee of safety for you to do that?
Well, I'm not concerned about safety. There's always an invisible hand that protects us, and we're on the winning team. America's on the winning team.
Not one sparrow falls to the ground outside of God's will.
Yes. It would be my pleasure and my honor to bring this material to President Trump. There's a massive amount, terabytes, documents, video, audio. But it needs to go to the president.
I will do everything that I can to get this video in his hands.
It's my only wish.
Alan, I've got a question for you. So that means that SEAL Team 6 was shot down on purpose after the trophy killed to ensure that no dead man can tell no tales.
You were correct. So that President Obama paid bribery of $152 million. Vice President Biden paid with the blood of SEAL Team 6. He spent their blood like currency.
Well, I've got to share something with you. Actually, Charles does. Charles, tell him about the Army Ranger that you talked to that was in the city where they were shot down.
Okay. We lived in Hawaii, and for about a month afterwards, I was in shock. And my wife and I, we went walking on the beach. And in the back of my vehicle, I have a bumper sticker about time. And this gentleman came up to me, and he was an Army Ranger that had been injured and he was recuperating in Hawaii. And he said, "How do you know Chief Petty Officer Woods?" And I says, "Well, I'm his dad." And he says, "Well, I worked with your son." And we became very close. It was part of my healing process, actually, getting to know him. He started coming to our church. His girlfriend started surfing with my daughters, and they ended up getting married. And one of the things that he told me, he says, I was on the Ranger team that was in that village where SEAL Team 6 was killed. The story was by the Biden-Obama administration that there was this team that was under attack in this village. We're going to die if you don't get someone here really quick. And so they loaded SEAL Team 6 on this slow, vintage Huey helicopter the size of a school bus and slowly got them to the village. Now, they did not request help They've been in that village numerous times before. In fact, if someone came, it would actually endanger them. The story was not true. And then usually when a helicopter comes in, it goes zoom right down to the ground, opens up, all the troops go out in seconds, and then boom, the helicopter goes straight up. Well, this was a sitting target, okay, the size of a school bus. It hovered in the air over that village, just waiting to be shot down. And the people hot wrote. I never heard the word hot wrote before. That means they each individually lowers down while it was a sitting target. And then apparently it was shot down by one of those weapons that Hillary Clinton illegally sent to Benghazi to give to a terrorist organization the U.S. government used to get rid of our ally who was fighting terrorism. That's Gaddafi.
One of the
and then that weapon ended up over in Afghanistan.
They were Stinger missiles. Thousands upon thousands of them went missing, and Mark Turry was told that he had a small arms covert weapons program going, so that way none of that was ever given to someone, because they could shoot down jetliners just flying by if they wanted to. A child could do it, and a 12-year-old could do it. So these Stinger missiles went through Benghazi and then were given to the people who shot down SEAL Team 6. That was a setup. They were covering their tracks there. And then when they found the serial number on one of the missiles, is traced back to the CIA from Qatar, from that weapons cache of Stinger missiles. That's why they had to then cover their tracks after people found out that the missiles were from Qatar, and then they could trace back where they came from Hillary through Benghazi. That's why Stevens was back there to recover those missiles and cover up the evidence. Well, that's at least what he was told. I assume that part of the plan for her was to eliminate everyone there at the Benghazi compound as well.
It's just so wicked. It's hard. It's just so unimaginably evil what these people do.
Dead men don't talk.
Well, Alan,
we'll talk. We will talk.
You have some good news coming up here in the next week and a half.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be released, audio tapes, documents.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing about it and seeing everybody connect the dots, because it's pretty plain to see the people involved, and it's all connected to another crime spree, and that's another story, though.
Well, let's just remember that heavy price has been paid for the secrets we are uncovering. And there are millions of people who want to see the truth. And we're going to deliver.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day. Roy Jones Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm honored to have you in here. I've been a fan forever.
I know this, and I was going to tell you that I am very happy to be here for you and for me, because I've been a fan of yours as well, but I always love the support that you give me. You've always supported me since day one. You've been one of the best people that I can hear talk about me since day one. So I just want to say thank you, man, for all the support, for being a brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. My pleasure.
I feel like we brothers now, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
I've been a fan forever.
Thank you.
From way back in the day,
And over again. There you go. This is where you get Beaufont jokes. Oh, dang it, couple things. I was writing notes. I pinned a bunch of the comments, so we'll go from there. No, not a Joe Rogan. Oh, I appreciate Joe. I don't know why people don't like Joe. He's brought a lot of things to light, but Things like this, he won't cover. At least not initially. Not initially. You don't get big, you don't stay big by being 100% truthful. What's that, Steven? Okay, you got a link. Careful, another truth finder is not getting results. I have to click on that a little bit later. The Pentagon sits in power and exercises it through military and covert ops. The rest is just a show. Well, you know what, Paul? I would say that the Pentagon is definitely a powerful group, but they have bosses. Right? The United States Incorporation is a powerful department of a larger corporation. There's always something a little higher up that's calling the shots. And this is the main reason why I got the title the way it is fight the power. You know, when I'm engaging in any level of conflict, I want to make sure that I'm going after the message, not the messenger. Right? And so the Pentagon is just full of a lot of good people. A lot of my family work at the Pentagon. It's just a lot of people. But the people aren't always aware of what they're serving, you know. So everyone has a boss. You know, we need a world where there actually is no boss. No leaders, no followers, no masters, no slaves. Trust always wins in the end, might be late, but always has the last word. I agree, Christine. This war is already won. I think our only options in this is how long we delay that win, how long we delay and we keep oppression around and we keep war around, and keep violence and rape and human trafficking and child trafficking. It's just a matter of how long do we want to keep it around. When we decide we're done at the principal level and actually fight the power instead of the labels and the people, politicians and elections and skin color and stuff like that, when we grow up, then it's all going to come to an end. And then we're going to transcend, I think, into the next paradigm shift. But we got to stop acting like monkeys fighting over bananas because we got different fur, or we're born in a different tree. When we get rid of that de-evolved stuff, great things going to happen. Oh, you know, and when we get to the Sphinx and go in the head, when we get to the Sphinx, go in the head and find out that the human race has been on this planet for a hell of a lot longer than we think, doing who knows what. You know, and there are biblical stories too. There's scriptures that kind of indicate that too, right? That the angels and demons ruled on the earth first, and then that was taken away, and then we came along. So God made us from the dust of the earth. I have to chew on that for a little bit. But the reality is human history has been hidden from us. Presidents can only try to sway the intelligence community, but they usually fail. I think they can try, Joe. I agree with that. I think that they can try. I think presidents have voices. That's about it. They have powerful voices because they're in a position of perceived power. But as far as like calling the shots, they don't call any shots. To me, logically, it wouldn't make any sense that they can call any shots. The Pentagon sits on power and exercises it through the military co-ops. It was just a show. Got that one. I haven't, but I've been wondering about how it compares to Trump Art of the Deal. How much you want to bet it was the influence? Oh, okay. Patricia's talking to somebody else. Rich man can get into heaven, so these a-holes. Rich man can't get into heaven, so these a-holes think they can create their own heaven by enslaving us. Ooh, interesting, Stacy. Interesting. A rich man can't get into heaven, and we know that to be true. It's easier for the camel to go through the eye of the needle than a rich man to make it into heaven. So we know that rarely ever happens. You want to take it with you? Nope, you're going to be stuck here because you don't get to take none of that with you. And if you got a lot of that, it's odds are you took it from a lot of other people. You created a lot of debt. You know what debt is? It creates poverty. Poverty is the worst form of violence. So the more money you have, the more blood you have dripping from your vehicles in your home that you live in and your bank account. So yeah, they don't get to. So what they do? So these a-holes think they can create their own heaven by enslaving us, and they have to a degree, Stacy, because they're demons. And literally, this is a hell on earth. We've made a hell on earth. This is Eden, but we've made it a hell on earth. That's probably, I tell my family all the time. Like, yeah, well, you got to do this to go to heaven. I'm like, we already in hell. Look around you. All I see is demons and lava, fire. There's some flying monkeys over there with wings. It's just death, destruction, explosion. A lot of beautiful things in between. A lot of beautiful things. A lot of beautiful things here in hell. Question is, do we want it to continue to be a hell on earth for our children, or do we want to turn it back into a Garden of Eden where everything has free will and abundance, food, gardens, love, and all the things that it was meant to be? Great documentary. Thank you, Patricia. I'll click on that later. Dead Men Don't Talk. No, Lori, they do not, which is what most people knew about SEAL Team 6, that they were cleaned up. I guess some people might have known why, but this is the most profound thing right now that we got going, and they wiped him clean. I need to message Gerard. Yes, message me, Brother Joe. Yay, Q, that's the problem. Disinfo and propaganda. You know what? Yeah, Paul, like, you know, I when I posted this yesterday, I posted with the comment, like, you know, like everybody, well, I didn't post this one. This was just the interview. The one I posted yesterday, it kind of had the spin, but even the guys interviewing him, they kind of had their own little spin. You know, whether people spin it towards religion or political party or Trump or anti-Trump or whatever. I do my best, Paul, just try to tell people, try to ignore that. Remember, everybody is indoctrinated, including me. We all have our own spins and our own little experiences, and we try to take a powerful message and wrap it in a package that we needed to fit in, including the CIA whistleblower. Like this whole idea that you take criminal activity that the United States Incorporated has been up to, and you give it to the President of the United States Incorporated. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't. You know, that's like, you know, you got a problem with Kentucky Fried Chicken, so you take it up with the Kentucky Fried Chicken supervisor. Nah, I don't think that's gonna work that well. You might have to go a whole lot higher than that. All right. I don't like spending money on clothes. No, and you shouldn't have to, Melissa. How stupid is that? You know, somebody killed something. Somebody killed something, robbed a lamb for some oil, because it's plastic and clothes too. They killed it, they stole it, they created a product out, and they sell it to you. That makes no sense to me. There's a whole lot of things about this economy that just don't work. Good morning, Anna. I'm about to get out of here. He has a good guess, but Rogan's a sellout. Oh, you stop it, Patricia. You and your eggplant stuff with you. You haven't done that in a while. Everybody's a sellout, Patricia. Everybody is. Everybody is a sellout. It's impossible for you to live within the United States Incorporated, the British Incorporated, Canada. Like, these models are designed. It's just Rogan has a powerful voice, and so his selling out seems a little more apparent, but everybody to a degree. You got a bank account, a house, a car, some shoes, coffee, somebody died for it, a slave made it. It's empowering the system. You pay your taxes, everybody's a sellout. We all just pick and choose, I think, where we sell out. Perhaps how much we sell out. Good morning, Tammy. Me neither. Hate shopping and have other priorities. Sitting here at work, I really worn out pants. Well, Patricia, that's because you got love in your heart. So my pants are dirty too. God wins. And Lori, yes, God always wins, and we're a part of God. We're all separated from this one whole thing, whatever people want to call it. And in the end, we do win, because we're eventually going to stop fighting ourselves and fighting amongst ourselves. Fight the system's flaws. Absolutely. Well, Paul Brady, and fight it where it doesn't want you. If it sends you to fight the white people, don't go fight the white people. If it sends you to go fight the black people, don't go fight them. If it sends you to go fight the immigrants, don't fight the immigrants. Fight the power, the actual oppressive system, and never operate underneath its orders. Especially if it cheers. If you go out to protest and it's like, yeah, go on the goddamn get him. You're gonna fight Caesar, and you're going out to want to fight Caesar, and you're going to a protest, and you turn around and see Caesar clapping like this. Some of the Caesars, half of them, don't go. You're not actually protesting Caesar. You are not protesting Caesar. Caesar's making grapes and like getting some bread together and we're gonna put up a new Colosseum for these people. You're not fighting the power. All right. Always look. Somebody had a very popular saying. He said basically when you're in a sort of a fight, what you want to do is look around and see who's on the line with you and who you're fighting against. And if you look to your left and you look to your right, and all you see is demons, everybody got tails bifurcated, tails, horns, and red skin, you're probably on the wrong side. So anyway, I gotta get going. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death. Free the people. Isn't it time? Isn't it time? Now we know Sin Biden, he's out running around still in Iran somewhere. They never got him. And
Do you want a free